from England. I'm Gail Z Martin, author of the Chronicles of the Necromancer, the Summoner, the Blood King, Darkhaven, and coming in December, Dark Lady's Chosen, and I am in Nottingham, England for Fantasycon. I'm going to see some sights, meet some great people. This is going to be a lively convention with a lot of fun, so come along with me and let's see the sights in Nottingham. Well, it wouldn't be a trip to Nottingham without checking out Robin Hood's hometown. So here we are at Nottingham Castle. They won't let me take pictures inside, but it's an art gallery and a pottery gallery, and of course a gallery about the history of Nottingham, England, and Robin Hood. So I'll get some pictures outside in a minute of his statue and the oldest pub in England, where I lifted a pint or two with Mark Newton and Christian Dunn of Solaris Books and John Oliver of Rebellion. I'm next door to the castle at Nottingham now, and down underneath in caves that were used as air raid shelters during the Second World War. It's all been restored, and it's quite fascinating. It's part of the Museum of Modern Life, and I hope you can see as I'm winding through here these caves that were tunneled out for people to take shelter during the Blitz. So you've got caves in the brewhouse yard which are made out of the natural sandstone. Now the signs say that some of these caves go back to about 1611 and they were knocked together as air raid shelters, but the people have been using them for breweries and tanneries and baking bread and all kinds of things for hundreds and hundreds of years. And of course they're all made out of the natural sandstone that's native to these areas, so it's really fascinating place. And if you've read my stuff, you know I have a weakness for caves and plots and ghosts and all of that, and I'm finding it right here in Nottingham, which is wonderful. I'm at the foot of Nottingham Castle Hill at Ye Old Trip to Jerusalem pub, which is the oldest pub in England, 1189 AD, and our tour guide from the cave tour said that it was the difficult job of every monarch of England up to Henry VIII to personally approve the beer that was made here. Tough job. Anyhow, come inside with me because many of the rooms are carved into the caves beneath the castle hill, and the food, by the way, is just marvelous, as is the beer. This is inside the Trip to Jerusalem Inn. And this room was actually made out of a fireplace that's been scrubbed clean. You can actually see up the chimney. Upstairs at the Trip to Jerusalem Inn, again carved out of the rock. More areas carved completely out of the rock. Now you see these doors right into the cliff face. They are into actual caves that were used not only for storage, but when the plague came, according to the tour guide, those were used as fever holes, they called them. And they put people who were sick with the plague or with different contagious diseases in there to sweat it out or die. Nottingham has an extensive sandstone cave structure underneath it, and those caves were used not only during the Blitz, but during the Black Plague to store the bodies. I'm down below Nottingham Castle in the Robin Hood Court, and of course there you see one of Nottingham's most famous sons, the statue of Robin Hood, and then you also see some of the medieval footings of the Nottingham Castle, which has been rebuilt several times over the centuries, but dates originally from the time of William the Conqueror, so quite an old structure, although it's burned and been sacked and had all kinds of interesting history. But there you see some of the oldest footings of the castle. Well, of course, I had to get a picture of this since Solaris Books was until very recently owned by Games Workshop, and here we are in Nottingham with Games Workshop. Well, that that's it for today at Fantasycon. Join me for some of the rest of the adventures coming up soon. I'm Gail Z Martin, the author of the Chronicles of the Necromancer series with the Summoner, the Blood King, Darkhaven, and Dark Lady's Chosen. You can find me online at chroniclesofthenecromancer.com and on Twitter at Gail Z Martin.